guys, and welcome to another episode. On today's episode, I'm going to be showing you guys what the oil looks like in, well, let's just say it's been about 5,000 or 6,000 miles since the oil was last changed. I have opted for Castrol Magnatec, which is 5W20. I've also got a new oil filter, all of Ford, you know, what they recommend, actual genuine Ford parts. I've also got with me today the Puma Speed magnetic sump plug. Hopefully in today's video I'm going to show you guys the importance of changing your oil in your car at a regular basis. I know it is one of those simple things that everybody who does own a car or a modified car or just any vehicle whatsoever needs to know. It's just something simple that needs to be done on a regular basis because it is like the blood in your veins but in a car. It looks after all the moving components, and say for example you have unlodged a metal piece of shard from somewhere or a filing or something daft like your engine's, I wouldn't say breaking down on you, but little pieces will come off in the inside of your block, you know, on a very rare occasion. Plus with me wanting to go with a nice big hybrid turbo setup in the near distant future, I want to just use this oil change to flush out anything bad, and well, I'm going to use the sump plug to catch any little debris that there is in the engine as it stands, because as you can imagine I don't really want that circulating into my new turbo or just in the engine full stop. No matter how long this build is going to take me to get to the turbo stage, I just don't want any rubbish in my engine, so it's more of a health check more than anything today. Plus it's prime opportunity now because it's been about 1,000 miles. Just have a look in the oil catch can that was supplied by Majestic Performance, just to see how much oil does go around your PCV pipe. So for all you non-believers out there that it needs doing, hopefully this video will also show you that investing in a couple of oil catch cans should be worth it. I don't know yet myself. As you can see, the bonnet is up, waiting to go. So I'm going to crack on now. And while the engine's still warm, as I have just arrived, always empty your oil out of your engine when it's still warm because more of it's going to come out. This engine takes 4.3 quarts of oil, or if you want to use normal terms that we use today, it's about 4 litres 63 mil, so give or take. But you'll never get the full 5 litres out of your engine, which says in the Ford manual that it comes from factory with 5 litres of oil in, because it's all built up around all your pistons and, you know, all God knows what else in there. So hence why frequent oil changes are recommended. Okay then guys, you join me down in the pit. I know it's not the most pleasant place in the world, but it serves its purpose. The engine's right there. The standard, how do you call it, sump plug is a 13 mil, but the one that's provided by Puma Speed, the magnetic one afterwards, is a 14, so do bear that in mind whenever you get your tools out. And always have your bowl ready to catch the oil, and gloves are recommended for obvious reasons. So yeah, what I'm going to do now is release the oil, and let's see what colour it is after about 5,500 to 6,000 miles. I don't know how well you can see it. Yeah, there's a bit of a spillage going on here. Ah! Whoops. But that is a good dark ass colour. That is, you know, it's disgusting. Absolutely vile. Right. Oh god, oh bugger. Oh, why am I doing this? All for the greater good, I'm afraid. Hobbyist at best, remember guys, I'm just a hobbyist at best. Isn't that right? But yeah, I think that's a wise move, changing that oil out. I'm going to leave it a few minutes to drain through just so I know that the worst of it's out. Then I'm going to start looking at getting the other something. Oh, fuck. I mean, whoopsie daisy. What a mess. So yeah, if you're questioning it, a washing up bowl is more than adequate for the job. Just don't get me to do it because I make one hell of a mess. So yeah, I'm going to leave that now for a couple minutes. And I'm going to start looking at, oh, blimey, it's magnetised. Sticking that one in its place. Nice big long magnet on the end there. Oh, it's already started gathering up rubbish. Would you look at that? But yeah. Oh, I'm going to get out of here before my shoes get filled up with oil. Alright, see you in a minute. Okay then guys, while I'm waiting for the last few drops of oil to drain out of the engine, I'm going to start taking off this catch can. I've already removed this pipe here off of it. I don't know how well you can see it on the camera. It's very awkward trying to get a camera in a decent position to watch all this, so I do apologise. But yeah, I've got this pipe here off, and I don't know, yeah. This is what it's doing, alright? See that around my finger? Don't know how well you can see it, but that is black oil. So I'm only assuming it's actually done its job, and I'm very interested now to see how much is actually in this blue can that I've got. Because if I'm finding it around the actual pipe already before I've even taken the can off, I'm expecting to see some oil in there. I really am. So the way I'm going about taking this off, so I'm going to undo both of these hoses, and then on the top of the catch can itself is two little screws that hold the bracket in place, and I'm going to pop them off, and then hopefully, if all goes to plan this is, and I'm not an idiot and it falls through the engine, it should just drop down. And then, like I say, I'm just going to empty it and put it all back together. But first I'm going to show you guys how much it's actually caught in about, like I say, it's got to be roughly 1,000 miles. They do recommend on their site when you buy the can to check it after 1,000 miles, just so you know yourself how much oil it's going to be going through. So it's well worth doing when you do an oil change, just to, as I say, check. But do as they say, check after 1,000, and you can't really go wrong. That way you know you're not well, if your engine is burning oil, you've got an issue, but if it's drinking oil through the can as well, you know you've got a real issue. But anyway, it's there to serve a purpose, so let's get it off and have a look. Okay guys, so that has just been removed from the car. Let's have a look in it. I haven't looked in here yet myself, so it's going to be as much as a surprise for me as it is for you guys. But it's worth a look, regardless, just to see. Don't know how well you can pick that up, but it's certainly caught something. It's not as much as I was expecting, but that is after about 1,000 miles. Alright, it's definitely done something. So, is it worth investing in? Yeah, it's doing its job. So, it's stopping it going through to your engine. What more could you ask for? Okay guys, so that's the catch can emptied and put back on. I've just put the sump plug in underneath. So I'm just going to pour a little bit of oil in now. I've taken the cap off already, as you can see. Just helps it drain that little bit quicker as it replaces it with air. So I'm going to put the oil in now, and then I'm just going to test it. Luckily for me, this workshop is on a pretty flat area, so that it should be quite accurate on the dipstick. I'm not expecting all of the oil to go in, because when you do buy oil, it does come in 5 litres. So you should have a little bit of spare, just in case it does need to top up down the line. Anyway, if you look at it this way, if you do 5 services yourself, no, 4 services, on the 5th one it should be free, because you should, if you don't have to drain any spare oil, have all the scrag ends of all the other services you do, and it should cost you nothing. So there is a Brucey bonus there. So I'm going to go about filling it up now, and then I'll test it and see how we done. So yeah guys, as you can see from the bottle, I don't know how well you can see it, but I put a little over 4 litres in there, which it suggests. I'm now going to check my dipstick, and fingers crossed, I should be bang on the money. So, pull this one out. Never look at it originally, of course. I know this is simple things, guys. I'm not trying to belittle anybody here, but if this helps at least one person, I've done what I've set out to achieve. It's hard to see because the oil's so clean. Wait a minute, and I think it could do a little bit more, you know. Just going to put a little bit more oil in, and then yeah, that should be running good. Okay then, just a little education for any people that take their car to Ford for an oil change at the designated times. Bear in mind my car is stage 2 at 248 brake, and this is the state of the oil that's in it, right? That's at 5,000 to 6,000 miles, right? How black is that? That is practically tar, right? So guys, if you take it to Ford at say 10,000 miles, 12,000 miles, this is at 5. Right, yes, it's hot, so it's running, but that is practically tar. I cannot stress enough how you guys need to do an intermittent change before your Ford services. You know, that has to be done. That has to be done. So yeah, please, you know, I know it's nothing too extreme, but that's not healthy for any vehicle whatsoever. You could probably paint your name on the floor with this. I probably just painted the bottom of the pit. But anyway, yeah, that's 5,000 miles. So please bear that in mind in between your services. Oil in the car, the caps are back on. Let me just check that quickly, actually. Yeah, the caps are back on. The dipstick's back in. No, I'm not on about me. I'm actually on about the dipstick. But yeah, that's all on. Filters are all on. The sump plug's on. Now what I like to do now is just start the engine up, bring it up to temperature, and then while it's over the pit or on your ramps or whatever you got access to, on the floor with a jack stand, whatever, I just like to make sure now, I'm going to start it up, make sure there's no like leaks or anything, because you don't, let's face it, you don't want to be losing oil driving down the road. And yeah, well, it's also a good time because you've taken the catch can off. If it idles above 1,000 revs, you know you've got like a boost leak of some description. It should idle around the 750 marker, but you all know that owning an ST. That is if you're owning an ST, you're not just watching this video for fun. Who would watch servicing an ST? No, never mind, for fun. Anyway, I'm going to start it up now, and yeah. Clutch in. Where's the blooming start button? Oh. So yeah, clutch in. So yeah, he's idling around 1,000, but when it comes up to temperature, because my boost gauge is at high, so when it comes up to temperature, that should drop. I'm going to go now and just cast my eye into the pit, just to see if I've got any leaks of any description. You'd soon tell, because that would be, you'd have drips and God knows what. It would be like a little water fountain down there. But I'm going to let this tick over now. Just see. Oh, he's quieting down. That means he's down to temperature. Let's see what he's idling at. He's idling a little on the high side. So that means that I've got boost leak along the pipeline of the oil catch can. So not to worry, I'll just adjust that and jobs are good. If you guys really want to have a little bit of fun in between servicing your car, between yourself and Ford, what you want to get is a little tube of Loctite, right? I'm not telling you to put it on your threads. What you want to do is make them worry. You get a red one if you can, because that will really make them worry. And what you need to do is just go down to your sump, where next to the sump plug and just do a little smiley face, just out of red Loctite or something, because they're gonna look at you and think, what the hell? And then they're gonna be like, this ain't coming off. And yeah, they're just a little mind trick. So yeah, if you want to have a little fun, go about doing that. But like I say, you don't need to put any on your threads because you want to get that sucker off, trust me. So yeah, just do it for a bit of shits and gigs. So that's all adjusted now, and I've started up again. It's sweet as a nut. It was literally just 2 little turns on one of the pipes going into the can, and that was it. Job sorted, all fixed. So then, thanks for watching today, guys. I hope this helps just one person out there. That's all I aim to do, is just help one person. This is, you know, a very simple how to change oil on your st180. Like I say, the reason behind doing this is more of like a flushing. I want that engine cleaned through, you know, and with the, you know, magnetic sump plug in there as well, just to catch any extra debris, because I am close now. I am so close to putting that turbo on. I have just got a couple more steps I want to do to sort that engine out before I do slap that hybrid on. So it is well worth tuning in. If you've not yet subscribed, whack that subscribe button. It's not long now before the boys at Unit 5 Motorsport, I don't know, this is a bit of a spoiler, but they're gonna take the head off, and I'm gonna have a shim kit put in and new water pumping, all sorts. I know it's nowhere near the mileage to have that done, but you hear a lot of people about having their bores overwhelmed from having too much pressure, too much power running. So like everything I'm doing, it's all a preventative measure. I want this car to last. Like you guys should always look after your cars and help make them last. I mean, even if you don't want to tune it up, just make it last, just so you've got something to sell on. Because a working vehicle is worth a hell of a lot more than a broken one, let's face it. Nobody wants to be breaking their car at the end of the day, if you can help it. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching today's video. I do appreciate it. Don't forget, like I say, whack that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, stay tuned, and I'll catch you all later.